Ladies and gentlemen, today we have a 2021 Corvette C8 2LT with Z51 package. We got 10 word in the Mazda FD. Very nice. There goes the Topher and Zygreen in the Honda NSX. But today we have the 2021 Corvette C8 2LT with the Z51 package. Now this car MSRP is $81,000. Owner bought this with 13,000 miles at $83,000. So we actually paid a little bit over MSRP for a used example. That's just the market these days. That's the demand for this car. And the question is does this car live up to the hype? Is that premium actually worth it? Now, first off, of course, this is the first time where the engine is no longer in the front, but in the middle of the car. The C8 is the first generation where we have a mid-engine Corvette. And if we pop this, there she is in all her glory. Just like a proper supercar, you have the engine right on show for you. Large trunk space here for golf clubs because target demographics, need I say more? But I do think it makes the rear end look a little bit square and not the most attractive, if I'm being honest, but I mean, again, looks are up to personal subjective interpretation. Now, with that being said, let's see how she drives. First impressions, the interior of this car is so much vastly improved over the C7. This feels like a proper, modern, luxurious sports car. Materials are nice. I mean, not quite Porsche level, but very nice build quality. Steering wheel is a little bit polarizing. I mean, the square, I think it's pretty ugly, if I do say so myself. Functionally, I tend to steer at 9 and 3, but if you are going to be, moving your hands all around the wheel, then that may be problematic. 2LT has the upgraded audio, it has the heated and cooled seats, blind spot monitoring, the heads-up display, wireless smartphone charging pad, all the goodies that you want if this is going to be your daily driver. Now the Z51 package is definitely what you want if you're going to be pushing this. It adds a lot of important things, including an electronic LSD, bigger brakes, including 4-piston Brembos up front, retuned and stiffer Magnarite suspension, 19-inch front wheels, 20-inch in the rear, wrapped in PS4S rubber. We have 245 in the front, 305 in the rear, upgraded cooling, upgraded exhaust, and the front lift, which adds $2,000, but, oops, I lowered it. Let's lift it. But it helps protect your pride and joy. And now we will lower. We're gonna be starting off in touring mode. Here we are. And right off the bat, that 6.2 liter naturally aspirated V8, it pushes out 490 horsepower, but you add 5 horsepower with the Z51 exhaust, so 495 in this example. It is no slouch. Very fast 8-speed Tremec dual clutch transmission. Immediate upshift, not quite as quick as a Porsche PDK, but pretty damn close. So in this touring, the steering's pretty light. Everything's nice and comfortable, actually. This is a nice little GT car, if you will. But what's really impressive is how the character of this car can transform. So we were in touring, now we're gonna go to sport. We see the tack changes. We can actually see the individual components here of sport mode. Steering already weights up a little bit. Not a lot of feedback, but actually better than I was expecting because you hear how it's so numb. It's not totally numb. It actually gives you a little bit of feedback. Oh my God, 468 pound-feet of torque. Instantaneous, naturally aspirated, that's what we like. And a throaty V8. Markup. I can already feel the hair growing on my chest. Yeah, this car is just way too fast and capable for this road. The Z51 package also adds a third radiator. Stock, it comes with 2 radiators. And extra cooling helps you when you're pushing it either on canyon roads or if you do decide to take this to the track. And with the press of this little button here, we're gonna go into manual shifting mode. Pretty immediate gear shifts, very smooth. And the chassis, you can feel that stiffness. Super rigid chassis. Part of that is this. They call this the backbone, the transmission tunnel, which they say is why they can't give you a manual transmission, because adding a hole to this backbone is going to compromise that super sweet, super hard rigidity that makes this handle so well. It really lets the suspension do its thing. Now, this is the first time the Corvette comes with double wishbone all around. Previously, we had leaf springs. And this means serious business. Bravo to the Corvette team. This thing is just so easy to drive fast. There's so much grip, look at this. This is absurd. This is too much car for this road. It can't even stretch its legs. It's still fun on this road, don't get me wrong. I'm just not able to let that V8 sing in the way that I want it to. Good Lord. Magnarite is so impressive, the way it can just, it has multiple personalities. Soft and supple touring mode, GT, to dedicated track car. Let's actually go all the way into track mode now. You can see the dash changes once again. Everything is in its most hardcore setting, including the engine sound, the shifts, oh yeah, that's some immediate throttle response. We like. Oh, I love how they changed the HUD on this. The heads-up display now is very focused on just gears and colors for your shift points. As you approach the red line, there we go. This car's just so capable. Look at how it grips. 0 to 60 in 2.8 seconds. That is absurd. Absurd. That's faster than the GT2 we drove yesterday. Good Lord. Now, from the reviews, I was worried about getting a lot of understeer, but the car's feeling pretty neutral with a slight leaning towards understeer, but no severe understeer like some of those online reviews may lead you to believe. Yeah, we gotta dial this back a little bit because this is too stiff for this road. So we're going to custom mode. The Z mode is custom. And we have the suspension in the middle setting. Steering also in the middle setting. Brake feel in the middle setting. You know, I am impressed. I am legitimately impressed. This car, wow. I mean, the steering is not teeming with feedback. It's not super chatty, but it tells you enough where you don't feel like its lack of communication is limiting you as you drive this and push it a little bit harder. Let's go back into Z mode. Let's make the steering more track. I'm just gonna keep the suspension in that middle setting. That's probably more ideal for this road. You know, unlike another, yeah, the steering is way heavier now. Unlike other cars, changing the modes here is super noticeable. In a lot of other cars, it's pretty subtle. Very large magnitude of a change, which I appreciate, because it makes you feel like you're driving different cars in one. Oh, yep, the sound. We like that. We like that. A lot of gravel here, gotta be careful. Love that linear power band as it just builds. Naturally aspirated character, very traditional sense. And that Markup V8 grumble. Yeah, you can induce a little bit of throttle steer. That ELSD definitely coming in clutch, no pun intended. This car makes driving fast just easy. That's how I would sum it up. It's such an insane level of performance for the price. The question is, and this is what holds a lot of people back, is do you like the styling? You know, as much as we like to pretend that we're buying cars in a vacuum, we don't. We care about things such as the personality. What does it say about you as a driver? And Corvettes, traditionally, you know, they're a certain type of demographic on average. And some of my friends who are closer to age and interests as me, they don't want that identity necessarily. And there's no right or wrong there. Again, it's personal preference. But if you look at this just from how is it as a car, it's fucking phenomenal, guys. It's so impressive. Everything is just so dialed in this car. I mean, I would prefer having a manual, a 6-speed. But if you're gonna do automatic, having a gorgeous 8-speed Tremec dual clutch like this that just shifts instantaneously, almost as quickly as a Porsche DCT, not a bad option. This car is just so composed over the bumps. Not a worry in the world. Oh, I love how, even at these low speeds, it's very easy to get throttle steer, get a little bit of that rotation, and dance with the car actually. You can find that rotation point, and that's where the magic happens. That's actually where it's very rewarding, but that's actually where you want to be. And you can find that line quite easily with the C8. On a couple corners already, I was just balancing it right there. Very impressive. Very, very impressive. God, this car hauls, man. This car is so capable. So capable. The limits are so high, and yet it's very easy to drive it hard. It's very approachable. I mean, what more could you ask for? Compared to the C7, it's not nearly as raw and visceral. It is much more refined. You're getting a little bit more of that GT directionality to it rather than raw sports car. But with the multiple personalities, that's not really a problem. God, this thing stops on a dime too. The upgraded brakes with the Z51 package, if you're gonna be pushing this hard or taking it on track, definitely get the Z51. Actually, in this trim level, the 2LT Z51, that's really the sweet spot, where you're getting a lot for your money and you don't feel like you're really compromising much either. I mean, sure, you could get 3LT, but 2LT is good enough. That's all you need. But if you don't get the Z51 and you do want to push this thing hard, you will be regretting that choice. So going back to the original question at hand, is this car worth its premium? Does it live up to the hype? And to that, I'd say it sure as hell does. This thing is a performance behemoth. It is massively impressive. Kudos to Chevrolet for creating such a capable vehicle at such an affordable price point. Good Lord. Now this car would of course feel more at home on high-speed sweep or something more like Angeles Crest Highway. But even on a tighter course like this, it's actually quite enjoyable. It's very nimble, it's light on its feet, it feels lighter than it actually is. The car weighs 3,360 pounds. But the way it drives, you think it's actually a little bit less. God, this thing is so impressive. Before we wrap up, let's give her the old frijoles. Engine sound max. First gear, and let her rip. God, what an animal. What a fucking animal. Really a special car, guys. Really a special car. Even the way it makes you feel as the driver, the cockpit with this really, all the controls right here on this really high ridge. Again, this is part of the stiffness of the transmission tunnel. It makes the passenger feel like a second priority, which is okay when you're the driver. This is a very driver-focused cockpit. Even the screen here pointing towards you, slightly angled. I really, really like this. I'm impressed. Chevy, bravo. My friends, let me know what you think. Would you buy a Corvette with $81,000? Leave a comment down below. Subscribe if you haven't already. Much love, my friends, and I'll see you guys in that next one.